What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So if things couldn't get any worse for President Biden and his quest for the $15 federal minimum wage increase, well, the Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, they released a report earlier today that outlines what this could potentially do to the economy. And this is not good, but this alters the state of stimulus as we speak. So, we also know that Congress is going to continue to bicker over this $1,400 stimulus check and who is going to be eligible for this. We know President Biden, he demands $1,400 stimulus checks. He will not go any lower than that. However, he is completely open to negotiations on who, based on their income levels, would receive this $1,400 check. We know Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, she said yesterday that she wants to see individuals who make $60,000 per year still receive a stimulus check. That means for couples, they would be eligible for a stimulus check if they make even $120,000. So that is really good. We also know Bernie Sanders, he wants to keep the income eligibility the same at $75,000 for individuals, and then it phases out from there, and he wants to keep it at $150,000 for couples and then phase it out from there as well. And then we have Republicans who want a hard cutoff at $50,000. They start the stimulus check, the full amount, at $40,000 for individuals, and then a hard cutoff at $50,000. And for couples, it would be $80,000 and then a hard cutoff at $100,000. That right there is something that President Biden is not open to, yet he's open to the discussion. But President Biden has not decided on which number he wants to go forward with. This is one of the reasons why the committees at this point are still having a very difficult time putting together this package, because right now they are still negotiating as to what we will potentially see. This means the debates will continue. We know this, and from what we're hearing, the debates are only going to intensify as more and more pieces of legislation and more committees begin work. Right now, this $1.9 trillion stimulus package is far from being complete. But what Nancy Pelosi is stating is she hopes the House has a finalized copy of this bill ready to be sent to the Senate in just 2 weeks. This is day one, and technically they are far from over. Now, according to Jen Psaki, she stated this earlier today, that there is discussions right now about what the threshold will look like, and it is still being negotiated at this point. What I can tell you at this point is that nobody knows. Okay? If you're looking at me like, oh, he's going to have the answer, right now I can tell you nobody knows. I'm just a YouTuber. I'm not somebody in Congress. I do not know. If another YouTuber tells you this is what's happening, there's a chance they do not know. What I can tell you with 100% certainty is we are waiting for President Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, somebody to come out and tell us what this amount is going to be. Right now, nobody knows. Not even Congress knows, because they are still negotiating the income limits. And once we have a report on, okay, this is what it's going to be, this is what is in the bill, I promise I will bring you that update as soon as possible. But as of right now, I just want to be 100% clear, nobody knows, not even Congress. Now, one other thing that we are hearing is that President Biden is 100% open to making this package better. He doesn't know how, he doesn't know where, he doesn't know who's going to make it better, but he is open to it. He states that if over the next couple of weeks we can see some changes and we can see an improvement of some kind, he is open to any improvement. If it means bringing the package down, making it smaller, and this will ultimately improve the economy and the American people's livelihood, then he would do that. If it means making it bigger, he would do that as well. If it means adjusting some of the figures, putting more money into certain pieces of legislation and pulling from others, he's open to doing that as well. What I can tell you is that according to the most recent reports, only 9 committees have begun working on this $1.9 trillion stimulus package. So even though many have not even begun, I think we have like 25 committees between the House and the Senate, the majority haven't even started. But what we know is they are expected to starting pretty soon. So hopefully that is the case, because right now the American people and the economy just cannot wait. Now, In addition to that, we also have news of the $15 federal minimum wage, and this is what we are currently hearing, that right now, if the $15 federal minimum wage does not get included into this piece of legislation, we have to figure out a way to provide more funding for those that have been badly impacted financially. So what does this mean? Maybe larger unemployment payments, maybe a larger stimulus check. If $15 federal minimum wage increases do not happen today, do not happen in this $1.9 trillion stimulus package, what we know is Congress, specifically Democrats and progressives, are looking at ways to provide for the American people and stimulate the economy. Those are the two goals with the $1,400 stimulus check. Number one, the first goal, we need to provide relief to those that currently cannot provide for themselves. And the second goal, and these aren't in any order, but is to stimulate the economy and prop it up, get it back to where it once was. So what I can tell you is, if the $15 federal minimum wage does not get included, Congress and specifically Democrats are going to look for other ways to introduce new money back into the economy. So we will see what happens there. But you're probably wondering, why am I even talking about this? Because everyone says a $15 federal minimum wage is going to happen. Well, even President Biden said this, I believe, on Friday, that he does not believe this is going to be included. He thinks this will be stripped out of the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. But earlier today, as I've already stated, the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, they released a report stating that by providing a $15 federal minimum wage increase, this will pull roughly 900 million people out of poverty. That's great. 900 million people out of poverty. That would be incredible. Because according to the most recent report, we had an additional 8.1 million people fall into poverty just because of this pandemic. So by increasing the minimum wage, that's going to bring about 900,000, so a little under 1 million people out of poverty. So that would be really good. But at the same time, the CBO reports that by doing this, businesses are going to lay off roughly 1.4 million people because of the increase in costs. So right now, this means that by doing something good, it would ultimately negatively impact the American people and the economy. The two things that Congress is trying to do: provide American people with relief and boost the economy. Provide some type of stimulus. Well, by increasing the minimum wage at this point, the CBO is stating that, according to their estimates, this would actually have a negative impact. So, what I can tell you is that right now, it is not looking likely that a $15 federal minimum wage is actually included in this stimulus package. And it might not be included in the infrastructure bill that we see in the next 3 to 4 months. Right now, this report from the CBO is a big, big blow to Democrats, to President Biden and his own agenda. Because right now, this is not looking like it's going to happen. And so, Congress continues to move into the next, or onto the next most important piece, or most important pillar to the next stimulus package. While they work on the while they do not work on the $15 federal minimum wage increase, they will be working on the $1,400 stimulus checks. President Biden says that closed schools and women leaving the workforce as of late are a national emergency. So, Congress is going to look to get children back to school safely. And what they're going to do is try to get people back into their jobs. As far as how they're going to do this, and what they're trying to do and their goals and what we can see from this stimulus package, well, we don't know until this package is finalized. So, one of the things that a lot of people have been asking, and I want to be 100% transparent, is they're asking for a timeline. When could we see the next stimulus package? What is the holdup and everything in between? Well, I want to be 100% honest with you. I wish I could give you an exact date. I wish I could tell you exactly when it's coming, when to be at your mailbox, when to check your bank account, how much you're going to get, and everything in between. However, I can't. For one, like I've already stated, I'm just a guy on YouTube. But Democrats understand that if they want anything passed, they have to use the budget reconciliation. They have to. Now, a lot of Republicans don't want this to happen. Actually, every single Republican doesn't want this to happen because they can pretty much push anything through. Just like Republicans did a couple years ago with the tax breaks. But right now what I can tell you is that if we see Democrats start introducing new legislation, new proposals, this is going to be a huge blow to the American people and the economy. And I say this because of one reason. It will actually create delays, more and more delays. Because if some Democrats, specifically in the Senate, like Joe Manchin, decide, okay, I'm not going to vote on this because you're not targeting the right amount of people for stimulus checks. You're giving it to too many people. Those people make too much money. We need to be more targeted. If that happens and one Democrat falls off the bandwagon and they will not vote for this stimulus package, that means they will go and side with Republicans, which means in the Senate it would be 51-49. So it would not pass. So what I can tell you is if we want to see this pass, it needs to address every single issue for every single Senate Democrat. If it doesn't, we could see more and more delays. The problem, though, is that once the committees are done with their bill, okay, every single committee is working on their bills, then they will combine them. Once they do this, it will go to the House for a vote. If it goes to the House for a vote and we see more debates and we see people throwing in their own agendas and different proposals and wanting these included at this time, it's going to create more delays. Now, they could ultimately get through it, pass it, and include nothing else, and it will stay just the way it is. But a lot of experts, as of right now, do not see this happening. What many people are saying is that we will see some representatives put in their own agendas. So hopefully that's not the case because it will create more delays, but that is currently what we're hearing. So to answer your question as to when we will see stimulus checks, here's my guess. My guess is that we will not see stimulus checks until most likely the middle to end of March, possibly the first couple weeks of April. So it'll be about a month span, somewhere between the middle of March to middle of April. That's my current guess. Now, I can also tell you that I hope this is not going to happen, but this is the most likely outcome at this point. So, this is what we are currently hearing regarding the next stimulus check and the next stimulus package. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll share more. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next one.